Well, touching on a Catholic school is pretty much where I wanted to start today.
Phrasing.
Touching on a Catholic school. Oh man! From the one person here who didn't go to Catholic school, we're off to a flying start. I have never been more mad about Jordan Pope transferring from Oregon State University than I was over the last couple of weeks, aka conclave in the Vatican.
Yeah.
And knowing we have our first American Pope who went where? Not Oregon State. He went to Villanova. Is from Chicago and is a White Sox fan, which is crazy. But you know, shout out the two of you who went to Catholic school and me who watched Euro Trip several dozen times during the teenage years and the decades.
It's basically
since.
the same thing.
I learned a lot about the papacy and Vatican City through watching Euro Trip, and a lot of it was true. I learned all about the Bell of San Marco, the white smoke, black smoke, pop smoke, all the smokes.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we have a new Pope.
Smoke.
It would be so fun if we had a player named Pope during this last, half, and he took that from us, and I'm so mad about it. But anyway, new Pope Leo.
He also stole the meme of Pope, the old Pope. I'm such a good
Pope
Catholic,
Francis.
I forget his name.
Same Pope Francis.
I mean, most.
Yeah, Pope Francis holding up a picture of Jordan Pope.
Yeah, Andre Nicotina really summoned the.
I remember Pope Francis
gods,
is real.
if you will.
I should know. I just watched the two popes, but I forget.
Benedict.
Benedict was the pope before that, but Pope Francis had another name before he became pope. That's how it works.
Frank.
Wasn't it Ricardo?
Yeah, something.
The new one
Bo-
was
Bo-
Bob.
Yeah, Bob Prevost. Bob Prevost. Robert Prevost. Bobby P.
And what does Prevost
Bobby
mean?
P.
It's close to provost, but not, which is good because provosts are bad.
It actually stems from the old French word prévost, which meant provost.
Okay. So
The more you know.
Wow, Terry, did you just call the
could have
Pope's
been-
last name bad?
He could have been provost at Oregon State University, and he decided to become the Pope instead. We'll see if that career move works out for him. Jury's still out. But congrats to the Vatican, and congrats to me, who had the very good tweet that the Pac-12 was targeting the College of Cardinals for Pac-12 expansion, even though that tweet got no traction. That's why I'm not coming back to Twitter. God damn it. Because that was a good joke, a good, tasteful,
You should have.
timely joke to get the College of Cardinals to Pac-12 after dark.
Best uniforms. They would have the best uniforms.
They'd have the best uniforms. Yeah. The most
Coolest
tradition.
helmets.
The most tradition. More history
they're coming
than
for
any
Notre
other.
Dame.
The more history that we have.
They're coming for Notre Dame.
Shit all over Notre Dame when it comes to that. But
Yeah, I agree.
no, apparently they're not on the table.
They're still saying independent.
God.
Boo.
Short-sighted.
It's been 2,000 years. Join a
Right.
fucking conference.
Join a conference, College of Cardinals. Good Lord.
Get with the times. Join two conferences in 1 year. Why not?
Yeah.
They just need that Sacramento State influx of money.
Right.
Oh, they get plenty of money.
Well, that's how Sacramento State nearly hired Michael Vick because the College of Cardinals snapped him up real quick. Vick to the Vatican.
The Victican.
The Victican. I like that.
It's not the smallest country in the world anymore because of the entourage rolling with them. So, what's that clicking noise in the background? Does anyone hear that?
Sorry, that's me just being fidgety. I'll put it down.
Is that like a fidget spinner? What do you got?
No,
It sounded like a fidget clicker.
Fidget
one of these.
Oh,
it's a
Click,
USB
click.
thing.
Click, click.
click, 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 clack. Great Slim Thug song. This is episode 181 of the Belligerent Beavs podcast, and I've got nothing. I just wanted to see you guys.
I haven't even opened the outline. I have no idea what we were.
There's not
supposed to
much
talk
I
in
haven't
there.
either.
There's There's
nice.
Do you guys want
to wing it episode?
Do you guys want to know what's in the outline? Because I added it within the last hour. You okay?
Mine has not updated yet.
No outline. Wing it.
There we go.
I'm still waiting for us to be created as pandas in Riverside, and it's still not going. But you guys, I had an experience tonight for the first time ever, and it was almost more terrifying after I found out what had happened to me. So the reason why I said I almost didn't make it tonight, at least on time, and this eye still hurts from it a little bit. It feels all itchy or weird.
Now I'm really interested.
So Poppy likes to, well, the only way I can convince her to like actually just like willingly go to bed is I offer to let her walk on the ceiling all the way up the stairs, even though the stairwell is too tall. And then in the hallway, outside her room, and in her room. So I hold her upside down and she just like walks on the ceiling like Spider-Man woman. And then she goes to bed. Great. So tonight I say, I got the podcast tonight. Like, I need to take you upstairs. You need to go to bed. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. And then finally I'm like, okay, I'll let you walk on the ceiling. Yeah, let's go. Like immediately she turns around, let's go. So she's walking on the ceiling and I'm looking up to make at the top of the stairwell to make sure that she's on the ceiling and doesn't try to be like, dude, I didn't even touch it. Like, let's start over. As I look up, something falls in my eye and I'm like, oh God. Okay. So I put her down. I'm like, ow, ow, ow. And it's like, I could feel it. And I couldn't like pin, sometimes you're like something gets in your eye, you can kind of pinpoint like where it is. You're kind of like, okay, like let's make sure it comes out. I could not find it, but it kept hurting. Finally, I'm like rubbing my corner of my eye and I get it out. I'm like, oh, I got it. There it is. My eyes are all blurry and I look at it. It was a spider.
Oh my God.
I had fallen and not like, not like a big one that if you rubbed it, it like broke into a million pieces. It was like a small one that was still like curled up dead, like in my eye from my eye juice.
Killed it.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Dude. What if
it bit your eye?
What if you become Spider-Man while we're recording? That'd be great for ratings.
That's more likely.
That is more likely.
The views.
We wouldn't need those filters that you were talking about earlier.
Right.
Oh, I still need those. I still need those.
Yeah. Spidey
Panda But that was
bear.
A moment. I've never had a spider fall in my eye.
I have not had that happen.
No. Right. And I started thinking about it. I'm like, well, yeah, she's on the ceiling. And it was probably like hanging or something. And she like kicked it loose. As I looked up, it fell right in my eye.
How old is Poppy now?
4. She's like, I didn't see a spider on the ceiling.
She totally did that on purpose.
How would
she
you
totally did that on purpose.
Probably.
This whole thing has been a long con. Like one day there'll be a spider up there and I'll kick it into Dad's face and it'll turn him into a spider superhero. And then I will have the coolest show and tell of all the kids at school.
That is a fact. I already am, though. I already am the coolest show and tell. She's like, my dad has a podcast about Oregon State sports. No, I was kidding.
Yeah,
no,
pretty
I have
cool.
A good, just because I know, that's what I'm saying. But I have a good weird eye story. Well, something fall in your eye story. If you guys don't have anything also cool and we don't have an outline that we're working off of, let's just share things falling in people's eye stories.
I made one. You guys are boycotting it, so that's fine. But
I saw it.
I have one. We all have one, but we don't need to follow it. So anyway, let's talk about more shit falling in JP's eye because that's what the listeners want.
No, not my eye, but I did tell, this is a short story, but I told Ev one time he was laying on the couch looking up at me and I'm standing above him eating salsa verde Doritos, best flavor of Doritos, best flavor of all chips. That's true. And then I said to him, he's like, give me like a piece. And I was like, I don't want to give you a piece till you sit up, because if I do and I reach in the bag and I hand it to you while you're looking up at me, a piece is going to fall in your eye. And he's like, no, it won't. So I grab a piece.
Chip dust is real.
Hand it. It fell in his eye. Salsa verde Dorito dust fell in his eye, and it was like
spicy.
Right. Has he recovered? Jesus.
Yeah. I honestly don't know if he's recovered. It was the ultimate level of chaos. Let me just say, for like an hour, because it was burning his eye, and there was nothing.
Oh, look at Terry. He's loving the story.
I am loving this story.
Yeah, Terry.
Just yawning through mid-story.
It's always later for me, you guys. That's just the central time zone.
I always forget that.
I'm not
We'll all be
yawning
in
because the
Central
story
Time
is
Zone
about. We will, and we'll do a live podcast
in like a week.
Yeah.
during the
We'll be there
ceremony.
like 9 days.
Nine-ish days. Yeah. So we might have one more podcast
days.
before that, if we want, or not.
We will.
We can do whatever we want.
I like to think if we're lucky, if we are lucky, because we're lucky to do this.
We are lucky to do this.
Yeah.
I'm happy we're still doing this.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Even though I do really want to change us into baby avatars talking, and it's not going.
Sometimes you just have to wait for the avatars to change into the little babies. Sometimes you gotta be patient.
So here's a question that I have for our listeners, and I would say reach out to us on. Well, you can still reach out to us collectively on Twitter and let us know. But I want to know what road games people are trying to go to. And we'll talk about this later of what road game at least.
Yeah, let's just talk about this now, because we don't have a lot that we need to get to in the way
I
of
almost
it.
went to the outline, but I'm still boycotting it. No outline.
There's no outline.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
So fuck it, we'll do it live. You are going to you say it.
Lubbock, Texas, I think.
See,
I was
West Texas.
you might be going.
West
Gonna
Texas.
go to Lubbock,
Texas,
Texas, West Texas, baby. You are going to go to the Oregon State Texas Tech game. You are going to eat at the same Waffle House that they eat at in Friday Night Lights, both the movie version and the TV version.
Yep.
And after that, you're probably going to come back home, because I think football and Waffle Houses is what West Texas has to offer. And that's not a slight at you, West Texas. Those are two pretty fantastic things to offer.
Yeah.
And Benny will be down there for sure. September 3rd.
I think I'm going to bring a sign
For sure.
say, we're taking your guns, because their thing is like 2 guns up like this. Bang, bang. Yeah.
We're taking your guns and we're gonna chop them.
And we're going to
We're chopping your guns. And they'll be like, look at these hippie liberals from the Pacific Northwest. And you'll just be like, it's just a ChopEm podcast thing. And
Still important.
Yeah.
yeah.
It is still, it's the most important.
But
I am excited though. I was looking at our schedule, and I'm going to call a spade. We don't have a lot of exciting away days this year. App State would be interesting.
I've heard
Tulsa.
App State is the shit. Like, it's awesome.
Yeah, but it's hard to get to, and I don't know how much of the shit it really is. I think it would be a unique experience.
It's like really pretty, and probably at its prettiest in October. But still,
But is it prettier than West Texas?
yes. Is it prettier than Corvallis? No, because nowhere is. I mean, Texas Tech's the obvious one.
Yeah,
Like,
I would say Texas
pretty
Tech's the obvious one.
clearly. They're still in a power conference, and
Yeah.
I don't know how. Like, have you looked at flights yet?
No, but I know. Well, I did a while ago.
It's
I know
probably
you can
like
get to Lubbock.
Portland, Lubbock has its own airport.
Yeah,
It's not
Lubbock
like
has its own airport.
flying into Dallas, switching to Amarillo, renting a car. You said it was close to El Paso, which is a 5.5 hour drive.
Relatively.
It is the part of Texas that is like just its own planet. It is Texas
Just
is
nothing.
such a big state. And
Yeah.
it's like, you'd be like, oh, I wonder how close it is to like UT or A&M or just like Houston, San Antonio, Dallas. We could make a weekend out of it. It's like, no,
So far.
Lubbock is the weekend. That's the weekend. That is where you are spending time.
Yeah. So you're right. I think Texas Tech's the obvious choice. Now I'm blanking on all the other places. The other game, home game that I want to get to is Wake Forest. I think those are my 2 for sure games of the upcoming football season. Wake Forest, just because I feel like there's an obligation to not only support the Beavs first and foremost, but also support our Coug brethren.
And yell at Jake
with
Dicker.
Dicker. Yeah.
What a
I think
terrible
that'll be
name.
fun. Yeah. Terrible person, to be honest.
It matches.
Yeah.
So that is October 11th. Saturday against Wake Forest, Texas Tech. We don't have the away games. We don't have the times for yet. I wanted to give a shout out because I think we did talk about broadcast times for the home games and the game at Wazoo, which is nice to know when games are going to be. I can't remember.
I really hope it's a night game. I really hope the Texas Tech game's a night game.
Well,
West Texas in early September is not going to be just nice summer day.
No, it's not.
No, it's going to be pretty hot.
Further advancing the case that it's the best away day destination of the 2025 season.
Yeah.
I almost would rather
single-handedly bump Sunbum stock up.
Dude.
I will need so much sunscreen.
Pullman in late November, I'm not joking. Take me to Pullman in late November. That's going to be an atmosphere I want to be a part of. I want the snow. I want the cold. I want the bar hopping and the tailgate hopping in the snow. That's real Northwest football. So maybe I'll go to Pullman in November. I think I can do that. I told you I'll go to Tulsa, but that's just because with scheduling, that one's on November 15th at Tulsa. The Golden Hurricane / Golden Showers. That's it. It's what I know that I can go to. And Tulsa is low key cool. Emphasis on the low key part of that, but it's low key cool. Like you can have a really fun weekend in Tulsa.
Well,
what are you waiting for?
I've never heard that before, so I already chose Texas Tech.
We'll do both.
But think about so these are the away games.
Why are you going to every? Why don't you go to every game and be hardcore? Because you're not hardcore unless you live hardcore.
Well, maybe if I get this new job,
I won't be able to because of commitments to the new job.
Hopefully your current job doesn't tune in, just in case. I
mean, they wouldn't have hired him if they listened to the podcast.
So you have Texas Tech in Lubbock. You have Oregon and Eugene.
You don't want to go to that. You don't want to go to that. You don't want to go to Eugene.
I don't want to go to that.
Okay.
Because I don't think my new job would appreciate me not showing up on Monday because
you're in jail.
You have App State in Boone. You have Tulsa in Tulsa. And you have Washington State in Pullman. It just feels like a weak slate of away games this year.
One, it's one less too, right? Like it's only 5.
It's 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would we play Fresno State at home, but that is a game that I want to get to. I know everyone talks about how Fresno State's scary and they don't want to go, but I want to go to a Fresno State away game.
Oh, you do?
Really bad.
You'd be fine.
I really do.
We know people who have gone each time we've played there and they've come back with all their limbs intact. Like, I feel like that stuff's always just a bunch of, if you go and like try to pick a fight, it's probably not the best place to do that. But
yeah, I would agree with that. My grandpa, who was an Oregon fan, went down to go see Oregon play at Fresno State and just could, 15 years later, was still talking about the horror stories of going to Fresno State and having to deal with those fans. So I want that. Yeah. I want the smoke. Right. Give me the white, give me the black smoke. Doesn't matter what color. I want the smoke. Be red smoke, yeah.
Could be black.
It would be.
Right. But
or white.
Those fans can always sense a good fan too. So they would see you, Benny, and know that you're just coming to pay respect.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they'd kill somebody else.
Wait.
I bet we play them on the road.
Not to change the subject, but that's a good segue. Hold on for a second. We'll segue back. We have to. But in looking up just schedule and the times and all that, did anyone else notice that on OSUBeavers.com, I don't know when this occurred. It feels very new for as much as I have seen. But in the nav of OSUBeavers.com now, it has OS United, which is their NIL, comprehensive NIL plan.
Sure.
And that is newly surfaced as far as I could tell in the nav. And then the wood shop's in there, okay?
Right.
But here's what's also interesting. Do you remember what used to power the wood shop?
No.
what platform still says the
Open
wood
Doors?
shop and now it's not Open Doors. It's
It is
Teamworks.
And for our listeners, Open Doors was the platform used for NIL, but as for my understanding, that was the only platform to use for NIL, but that clearly isn't the case.
That was like a hot second.
Open Doors was one of the first NIL marketplaces that one was on the internet, but two gained traction with universities, or at least their collectives. And it was so widespread that essentially the wood shop was like a partnership, at least for Oregon State NIL, that Oregon State had on their website, linking to Open Doors. Players pages, I haven't checked that, used to have links to their Open Doors as well. Mm-hmm. Now it links to the wood shop on
the wood shop
exchange, which is on influencer, the influencer product for Teamworks, which is considers itself the operating system for sports. Trademarked, I guess.
Okay,
if you can trademark that.
So what does that mean in layman's terms?
Well, I mean, Open Doors is still showing that it's the wood shop. When you go to the Oregon State NIL Marketplace, there's still athletes on there. I'm just putting together a lot of occurrences, this week, and then now seeing this. After talking with Steve, I guess just 5 days ago now today.
Yeah.
A couple days later, the school had Learfield there, and they announced some sort of like marketing partnership for
introducing
NIL and Learfield.
OS United, a comprehensive, modernized program focused on meeting the new demands of college athletics.
This was announced though months ago. OS United. Essentially was saying, hey, we're all working towards the same thing. All these entities are like, even though they're separate on paper, we're all working towards the same goal of embracing this new world of NIL and pay to play, whatever. But it had never been this prominent. There's a lot of moving parts. I don't know. I find it interesting. The timing, the announcements, maybe it was all coincidental, but it seems like maybe there's a little bit of effort going in, which is good.
Okay. So what do you hypothesis? What do you think that all this means?
I mean, on the surface, it means that Oregon State is clearly not going, turnkey solutions to partner and be like contributing towards athletes getting anything out of NIL. Yeah. I think while I like what Open Doors has built and how smooth they made the process of engaging athletes for NIL purposes, they were maybe they were or maybe still will catch a lot of universities in the same dilemma that Sidearm Sports and Learfield did, 20 years ago, building out all of the websites for universities, athletic departments.
Okay.
You got it. You guys figure it out. Like, it's a good sign that Oregon State is looking at other platforms and other ways to optimize the engagement between athletes and brands and corporations and letting the athletes leverage their likeness, but like surfacing it on the website. Maybe this again was all very much planned, and changing providers to me does feel like a bit of a see, we're doing something, but it also could be that they were already planning to do something. So kudos on that. But I just thought it was weird because it felt like I had not seen the OS United explicitly in the nav, and then clicking through, the wood shop is a new provider, and it's very timely for after the conversations that we had last week. So,
yeah, no kidding. Interesting.
Yeah.
And I think that's like having a platform for the student athletes to truly sell their image and likeness, or have a platform for them to market their image and likeness, is sort of what the spirit of NIL was all about. And I think that gets lost in translation. You talk about NIL now, and it is strictly like your brain sort of goes to like pay to play, right? Like for example, what Tennessee's doing, where like 10% of their ticket sales are going towards paying players to play at Tennessee.
But that will happen anyways. I mean, that is going to happen.
Yeah. But I think
maybe it should have happened before NIL happened. But yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
God, that would be a fun away day.
But this is interesting. Kelsey Howard is on here. I like this. I like that this is being promoted, and the university's clearly backing it because it's on their website and it's prominent. Like Kelsey Howard's on here, and he has one opportunity to work with him. The opportunity, he'll autograph a jersey or a T-shirt for $100.
It's good work if you can get it.
Yep.
But the nice part is, the university was probably already at some point making players like him or Kelsey himself sign autograph things so they could auction them, sell them, gift them to big time donors. For decades, he never saw a cut of any of that.
Right.
Glad to see that there is some cohesion where the university is like, we will help you, just sign autographs and make money. Why not?
So,
if someone's going to pay for it, you might as well make the money.
Yeah.
This doesn't mean that it will never happen or that there aren't any plans for it to happen. And all of these things are all well and good. But kind of what Steve was talking about last week was a long-term, deep dedication towards storytelling to really establish yourself and the things that make you different. And this does seem more organized, and it's easy to use and easy to navigate. But I think there's obviously needs to be something else here. And just because we don't see it right now doesn't mean it doesn't exist, and it won't ever happen. But I mean, we don't have time to go to every other Division I athletic site right now. Although maybe we could do that some episode during the summer, just critiquing the presentation of every, like, this is bullshit. Who's gonna know? But I imagine you see something like this kind of everywhere. And while you need to have it, and not having it would be a detriment, there does still need to be that thing that establishes being different, that sets you apart from the rest of the pack.
I agree.
Yeah, because
and also,
like, how many people are going onto this and going to Kelsey Howard, for example, and being like, "Oh yeah, I want an autographed shirt."
For
like, there's nothing that is really well. I mean, like, there might be some people, but like, you have to really be seeking it out, and like Steve was talking about, there's a storytelling,
reach,
promotionary,
and when you can literally pay any college athlete money for an autographed jersey at this point, like,
what's differentiating?
Nothing against Kelsey Howard. I know we're using his name because he's on the page right now with one opportunity available. But
not saying this is reflective.
You have to find Kelsey Howard, especially if you are either just a casual, or you're a young recruit, or you're just looking for dynamic football players to interact with. And what cuts through the noise
would be like, if Oregon State, and I'm surprised universities haven't done this, or maybe they have, but come out with like a Topps trading card deck. And did they?
Yeah, they did that for football. Yeah, I'm trying to forget. I forget who they partnered with, but it was I got
Panini?
a whole pack of them. No, it was a different. It wasn't a big brand. It was On It, NIT.
Okay.
And you could buy packs, and there were autographs, there were like limited cards, like essentially like different parallels.
Yeah.
Again, you might be somebody's favorite player on the A's, the cityless A's, but that doesn't mean that your card is valuable in the grander marketplace.
Right.
And it wouldn't be if no one's telling people why it should be.
Yeah.
So that is a big thing why I agree with Steve on the storytelling aspect, but like, there's also the component of telling a player's story tells Oregon State's story. And it just, hopefully there's something in the works now that they've announced some marketing partnership thing with Learfield.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll pull up the post. Yeah, I'm going to pull up the post. It was, Beaver Sports Properties team continues to learn more and strives to be the leader in student athlete marketing, NIL industry. And it's now the GM of Beaver Sports Properties, Aaron Babcock, says, fired up after a great afternoon with Beaver Sports Properties team, diving into student athlete marketing. and how we can take things to the next level for our partners. That was
yesterday.
That was
right?
4 days ago.
4 days ago, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
so
interesting.
good timing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The marketing winds a blowing. Storms a brewing. I'm happy to see movement, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm not expecting anything huge to happen overnight, but as Steve said, we all do want the same thing, and
yeah,
she's hoping that people take this curriculum and the know-how and the drive and the resources available to them through one of the best universities in the country, damn it, and make some magic happen.
Damn it.
Yeah, it's I know we came down pretty hard on the athletic department last week, and I don't regret anything that I said. It's all criticism that in my mind is very justified, but obviously we're cheering for Oregon State's athletic department and their marketing team to do the right thing. So I hope this works out. I just don't. With Learfield, I'm wary.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I don't know what platform this was even on, by the way, that this was posted, because I can't find shit anywhere.
Well, it goes back to.
It was on. It was
on
Pied Piper in season 1 of Silicon Valley. That's where it was posted.
Like Beaver Sports Properties. Hey, oh man, I can't find it. It says it was.
I think they're on Red Note.
Now, do you want that smoke?
Yeah, I don't care.
It's the right answer.
I still don't know what Red Note is or why people are mad about it. I know it's it's some kind of TikTok alternative. So it's TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I couldn't care less. And you know what?
I can't find it.
We could have named this podcast. I love Belligerent Beavs, but saying "damn it" just now made me realize this. Four whole years later, what could have been the second.
4 yesterday. Our birthday was yesterday.
Our birthday was yesterday. Oh yeah, that's true.
Hey,
yeah.
Happy birthday to us.
Happy birthday to us.
Happy birthday
Holy
to
shit.
us.
We could have named the show "Pod Damn It."
Oh,
get it?
Oh,
like God damn it, but also damn, because it's a Beaver thing. But we say damn it a lot because we're mad.
There is a
pod, but it's a podcast. There is a pod. Damn it, damn it. God, well, God damn it.
Pod, damn it.
Fuck those guys. Let's get.
This show is about anything and everything. We laugh at our own jokes. We swear. We cry. We drink. We read your hate mail. This is us.
Wait, what?
Did we start? We started in like another podcast in a fever dream, and just remove the Oregon State affiliation, which would have made the athletic department's dream come true, probably.
Yeah, JP buys all these domains. I wonder if JP did actually set that up when
we were in a few blueberry muffin beers deep at JP's house one night.
So good. Those are so good.
What if we made a fake podcast? Call it Pod Damn It. Well, let's make a secret.
This would have happened.
Let's do like a normal podcast, but it's
a
secret podcast, and we just don't tell anyone it exists. So
unfortunately, Pod Damn It only had 18 episodes, and their final episode was dated November 26, 2018. So
okay,
so
it's up for grabs. It's up for grabs.
I don't think they had a domain.
We don't need
a
domain.
Facebook page.
Well, I don't even think like something like Spotify or Apple Podcasts, like they'll publish another podcast with the same name.
Yeah.
Though if you try to Belligerent Beavs,
we will sue you.
Eat shit.
Yeah, we are LLC. We can't.
We do have a registered LLC, so don't do that.
Yeah.
But we could
do
it to someone else.
Also available. Poddammit.com is available for sale.
Oh,
for sale.
This is the part of the podcast where we start other podcasts.
And buy more domains.
Let's just get more podcasts. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
So I have a question. What are you two drinking?
Hands.
Oh,
nice.
Well, I'll switch mine. I'm drinking.
Ooh.
Freem. Whoa, that's a cool can.
That looks like a can you would get at a bar in Star Wars.
Or one that is like after Northwestern won a championship of some sort.
Yeah, or a Hood River.
Well, that's as fantastical as Star Wars, Benny. Northwestern. Shout out season 2 of Andor. It's awesome.
You know what show I started watching recently? Vice Principals.
Dude.
So good.
So funny. didn't get enough
So
love.
funny.
Anything Danny McBride and Walton Goggins does is incredible.
Yeah, Walton Goggins hosted SNL last weekend. Man,
I did not
he's
see
like
it.
on fire.
He really
It was
is.
good.
He really is.
Oh, I found the post. Yeah, it was on LinkedIn.
I thought you were about to say I found the Pope.
Oh my God. Okay, the Learfield thing is not working. It is not working.
Well, Learfield is essentially Learfield is the LinkedIn of television broadcast networks.
Oh my God. We don't need to go on another rant, but out of all the social media sites to post some marketing
We're really
around the athletic program.
we're really seeing traction on LinkedIn.
Oh my God.
Like, yeah. Oh, so there's more interest in the football program? No, but the business school is getting a lot of new apps. Speaking of
Well, I
apps,
did hear a
let's
new-
clouds
I
to
did-
celebrate, baby.
I did hear a new idea being rattled around, and that's marketing on Craigslist, which honestly would be an upgrade from LinkedIn.
No.
Wait, I like that idea.
Craigslist?
Misconnections, maybe?
No, just selling.
Hey,
whatever
Big
on
12,
Craigslist.
are you sure?
Oh, Kelsey Howard could sign a bunch of shirts and then sell them on Craigslist or offer
Yeah.
up. Offer up is clutch.
Or eBay?
Offer up. I
Yeah.
haven't used offer.
Oh, man, I've sold a lot of the tools that I bought that I thought that I would use that have just been collecting dust. Yeah. It's
Just
awesome.
wait for LinkedIn to put a marketplace on their website.
Right.
Then you're
Right.
gonna
Right.
really
Then
capitalize.
add
I
that.
still don't know how to use LinkedIn.
Add that to your LinkedIn resume that you
no
are
one does.
an established seller on the online marketplace offer up from March 2024 to present.
I
Moved
don't
a lot of units on offer up.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll write you a recommendation on LinkedIn, Penny. You can pin it to your profile.
Yeah, JP wrote me a recommendation years ago. It's still the only one that I have.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You guys
Yeah,
actually
thanks.
work together. I guess this counts as working together. There's a belligerent
JP was my boss.
Belligerent Beavs
And my
has a
landlord.
company profile on LinkedIn.
I was just a baller.
I was basically like a serfdom of JP while I was in college.
Yeah.
I literally lived in his like guest room on a mattress with no bed frame or box spring. Just a mattress.
He paid
on the
you
floor. I
to
don't
work
think
for
I had
him,
sheets.
and then everything he paid you, you paid back to him to live in the guest room.
No, he worked for Stevens.
I did work for Stevens as well. I was
Yeah.
his personal secretary for a day.
Oh my god!
Dude,
I never
I need to
charged
stop
him a
drinking
dime.
because so much of this is.
people
only
don't
charged
realize
him-
how hard it was coming out
You
of
didn't
college.
charge Benny rent to live in your house?
No,
Yeah.
I didn't.
Oh,
I didn't.
that's right.
Oh, his dad did.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I
my
was
dad.
about to get upset because I paid rent and I never even slept there. We won't talk about why.
He-
We don't
one
talk.
night-
We don't. I think it was 2. It was a weekend, a
was
glorious
that
weekend.
when you
The
moved
best-
into the fraternity house?
No, it was. We'll talk. We'll
Next
talk
door.
about this later.
We don't need to talk about
Next-
this later.
No.
I know.
We don't.
Yeah.
Fight Club.
And those
Yeah.
nights when it would really bother me that you weren't sleeping over with me at our house.
I know.
Having a sleepover party, playing Madden until like 7 a.m. in the morning and just slamming.
We
Paps
did.
all night.
We
I
did
would-
that. It was just before I lived there,
Yeah.
and then I moved in.
But
and
when I was mad that you weren't there when you were actually on the lease, I would go and I would screw with you so hard. That was
That's-
great.
How funny is it that we all lived with each other? JP lived with Terry, I lived with Terry, and I lived with JP, but we never lived at the same place at the same time.
That's
the 3 of us.
True.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Funny.
That's
funny.
why we are still friends. And that's why we have
Yeah.
a podcast.
Yeah, this podcast may have never happened, but
True.
All
and
right.
none of wait, Skins lived in your place for a while, right?
Not
Well,
officially.
Not officially.
in the same super secret manner of which he is a producer of this podcast, which is why he is also a super secret producer of this podcast. The
Yeah.
universe tends to unfold as it should. and it did. And that's why we're all still friends. Otherwise, different men would be standing up in my wedding next week.
Hey,
I honestly don't remember what size jacket I ordered for the wedding, and I ordered it online.
have you eaten?
So I might be like,
did you use your wedding measurements from 10 years ago? Like you had Benny's wedding? That was amazing. It didn't look that silly. It only looks kind of silly.
well,
To
no, I
people
think
who
I
really
clicked
noticed.
Part of me is like, I don't know if I clicked the wrong size. I knew my size, but then I went and clicked, and then I hit submit, and I was like, wait, what size did I put on? I hope I didn't do 29.
We'll figure
We'll
it.
find out.
29R.
29R would be insanely short, right?
Yes.
Insanely small.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you could just do
I think
the.
that- I'm
be
like
like this.
40
I think
off.
I'd be like stuck like this.
You could do the Chris Farley fat guy in a little coat bit.
I'll be up standing next to you, Terry, arms wide and
The posture's gonna be so
Yes.
good.
embracing the moment in your future with Sam, just like, I love you guys.
Right. My seams are ripping. I'm so excited.
Yeah. You know what I will do? If it is a 29R, I'll just cut the middle and wear it as like sleeves.
Yes.
Yeah, just have sleeves on it. That's
hope
all that
it's a
matters
29.
anyway.
I really hope it's a 29R now.
We'll kick out one of the bridesmaids then for pictures and just be like, they'll be like, hey, I heard there was 8 on each side. Nope, 7. Definitely.
You weren't invited. Bridesmaid, get out of here. As she finds me sadly drinking.
Right. Well, then
Double fisting one sleeve per beer.
Yeah, what kind of beer are you going to have at your wedding, Terry?
we've got a good
Definitely hams.
hams, yes,
Yeah,
and
for sure, hams.
Mick Golden Light for sure.
Mick Golden Light?
Yes, Michelob Golden Light. It is basically hams and very
Okay.
popular in the Midwest.
Okay.
The hosted cocktail is a brandy Manhattan in tribute to, that's a very big drink in Wisconsin.
Manhattan.
It was the first, my grandpa would never let me drink when I was at my grandma and grandpa's house until I was 21, but he taught me how to make a proper brandy Manhattan when I was like 15. So I'd help him make brandy Manhattans for my dad and uncle and just like other relatives. So they're very good. You know, it's a little bit sweeter than like a bourbon or whiskey Manhattan, but still very, very good.
Okay.
And
I'm excited.
lots of booze, lots of food. My favorite pizza place doing the late night snack. So
Nice.
A late night snack
Spare.
at your wedding?
yeah. That's like a thing
I
at
love that
weddings.
idea.
Yeah. Like people deliver.
Well, I don't know. I
it's-
got married a
you have-
long time ago.
You did get married a long time ago. But like dinner's at like 6, and we'll be dancing a lot after that. So like the pizza will come through at like 10:30. And when you're ready to eat again, it's just like, you know what would be great? 2 slices of pizza. And here
Well, that's
they
what
are.
we did.
Yeah.
After we got to our hotel, we ordered a pizza and had the most like cracked out lady deliver us our pizza to
Nice.
our wedding suite at like
Perfect.
2:30 in the morning. Yeah. No,
Hell yeah. Well, we're about 47 minutes into this episode that needs to get capped in an hour. Should we talk about Malik Murphy? Should we talk about Darius Clemens? Should we talk about Trent Bray? Or do we even really need to? Those guys are awesome.
Well,
They're awesome.
I just named the Heisman Trophy winner, the Bolitnikoff Award winner, and the National Coach of the Year Award winner, and everyone knows that. So that concludes the football portion of the episode.
Well, I'll just say, and we've stated it before, and we'll go over a true football preview podcast, but
Right.
I think I'm more excited for this year than I have been in a really long time for football. I think there's a lot
really
of exciting
long time.
things. A really long time.
All
I'm
right.
more excited for this year than I was
Right.
for Dame's sophomore year,
Wow.
which was a very good
That's-
season for us.
That's like saying I'd rather go to Haunted House than go to Aqua. So this season is a Haunted House.
This season's a haunted house,
but
baby.
the back deck is going to fall on somebody else, not us.
Yeah. Not us.
We built the deck designed to fall on the University of Oregon.
And it will.
I'll stop going further with this reference because like 3 people are catching it. But that's this.
But those three people are loving
it's for those three people. But anyway, so you're more excited about House and Aqua. Explain, Benny.
I think we have all the pieces. Like what it comes down to me, at least on the offensive side, is Gundy. But we truly do have all the pieces. And I think the offensive line is a little nervous about the offensive line. I'm not gonna lie.
They need to stay healthy. If they stay healthy, we're fine.
And I truly have zero idea what we're gonna get on defense.
It's like a surprise.
Yeah, I don't know. So, but Malik Murphy is obviously going to be incredibly fun to watch, and I think there's a lot of very justified excitement around him. But I think honestly, Hank has a chance to have a really, really breakout year, be one of in the upper echelon of running backs in the country, especially if that passing game comes along. You have a lot of, I have to say it, you have a lot of tight ends in the room that are going to be able to open up holes for him. I just think that it really could be a big breakout season.
If they're thrown to.
You just got to ride your tight ends.
Just got to ride
your tight ends to the end zone.
And then just it's all about the D after that.
Good Lord.
I'll counter this just with a little less orange colored lenses. I am excited about the personnel.
Dude, you're on Belligerent Beavs, not Poddammit, JP. You're supposed to look at through orange colored lenses.
I thought we were doing the other one. All right, yeah.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But I like the personnel. I like the schedule. Yeah. I'm also agree that this kind of hinges on how well Gundy adjusts the offense to his personnel now that he has more so his guys than he had last season. But I have to temper my expectations because last season I thought we've got this in the bag, even though there were definitely many holes and many question marks.
What would you say, not to interrupt, but maybe we can get to it later, but like, what would you say was the thing that you were most excited for last year that just never materialized?
I thought we would just see, one, I thought we'd see a more explosive offense throughout the season. Defense is adjusted. The scheming for certain aspects of the game changed as our defense fell apart, and I thought our defense was going to be very, very good to elite. So it's hard to it's almost just like a rubber band effect around everything, or like a butterfly effect. Like this thing happened and this thing happened, this thing happened, and then like all of a sudden we were very much exposed. Had all things been equal and the same from the beginning of the season, I think it would have been a very successful and exciting season. Yeah, I don't think we'd be in the position that we are today, which I full-heartedly agreed is an improvement over a year ago today.
Yeah.
But now it does come down to like, all right, the parts of it where we couldn't really lay blame that much. There's, some people placed a lot of blame on Gundy not kind of figuring out the offense and making the quarterbacks do things that they couldn't do.
Yeah.
But now he's got his guy. He knows what he can do. He's been recruiting forever. He's a talented guy who can do a lot. And if the offense calls for a quarterback that can do a lot, well, good thing you've got a lot of weapons around you. Mm-hmm. So I'm only tempering my expectations because I haven't seen that be successfully, accomplished yet from Gundy. That's fair. So it could also very well not work.
Yeah.
It could.
Even with the right personnel.
Right.
That's my non-fully orange.
Right.
That's fair.
Well, and
that's totally fair.
To answer that question too, it's hard because I think we were excited about Trent for all the right reasons, and I am still excited about Trent. And I think of the question, Benny, of like what was kind of the most disappointing thing, or something that you didn't think you have to worry about. I really thought the defense was going to be a lot better, and because, think back to the 2021 season, which was our first season doing this podcast. And Tibesar gets fired, Bray gets promoted, and the defense was better instantly.
Yeah.
No stray intended at Tibesar, but Bray was just clearly that special coach. And then just even though we were clearly not the better team that day and overmatched, but Oregon having 7 possessions and 7 touchdowns. It was like, dude, I've watched some bad Beavs games before, but and
yeah, we got exposed.
Just the absolute lack of a pass rush, I think, was kind of, I wasn't expecting to be the 85 Bears and just be throwing quarterbacks around like rag dolls, but and there's a lot of injuries there too. So like, I'm not trying to throw shade at the guys, and I'm really excited that we got Nico Taylor back to build on what he did last year. So yeah, it was just, I think, general the defense, but pass rush. And now I think, we talked about Bray taking over the play calling issue or duties again, like ad nauseum. So we don't need to keep beating that dead horse, but we're all excited, I think, about the way, they handled the coach movement, I think, in a productive manner.
But will he have the same impact? I hope so.
I hope so too.
That's the big question.
That's the question he's answered. Yeah.
A lot of guys at the time when he was promoted rallied around him, I'm sure, because he's in a way a defensive player's coach. Like they like his aura, mentality, energy, whatever. And he also was, an up and comer, an underdog, and not supposed to be there kind of thing at that point. Then there he was, and of course they probably felt like, let's go show out for our dude who wasn't far removed from where we are right now.
Yeah,
but now he's the head coach,
and he had a year off. Yeah,
of coaching defense, and now he's trying to go back down in a way.
Yeah.
To reconnect with guys that we're going to look at him as the head coach, not like their guy who was an assistant coach who worked his way up to a coordinator.
That does scare me that he's going to be trying to manage being head coach and defensive coordinator. One thing that I've sort of thought about as I've internally been preparing to talk about Oregon State football is we didn't know this going into the season, but Giovanni McCoy, I think his biggest weakness was his arm strength. Right? Like he could not, like, trying to do bubble passes or wide receiver screens was out of the question, but more so he wasn't able to get the ball to the receivers on the ends. And when you have Darius Clemons, granted he was hurt a lot of the season, but when you have Darius Clemons being such a special talent that he is and not being able to get him the ball, it just, like, you might as well not have him. And when Ben Goldbranson came in for that Boise State game, who does have not a strong arm, but a stronger arm, you really got to see what Darius Clemons can do. And with Malik Murphy coming in, who's known to have a very strong arm, that's what gets me excited for next year, is you're going to be able to fully utilize Darius Clemons. And that connection is going to be what a lot of the offense is. How the offense runs is going to be determined on that connection. And then you have
Murphy, real quick, is going to give you a ton of big play potential when the pocket collapses, especially if our line isn't going to be as ideal as it has historically been or recent history it's been. And if it's breaking down, the attention may draw from the secondary, seeing this guy is toast. And if we have a guy who can stay alive with his feet, make a big throw, not just when he's planted and it's got time, but actually, off of 1 foot if he has to, and get a guy who can stretch the field, there's a ton of potential there. And that's the stuff that, like, we were dead in the water last year if things broke down. I think we all saw that.
We were not a team built to come back. Right. That's for sure. If we got down, I mean, you heard that all over the
if our offensive line couldn't protect the quarterback, they were making a play.
We couldn't push the ball.
They couldn't go run. They couldn't throw. They couldn't do anything.
And the defense
when the pocket broke down,
always knew when our running game was coming. So Malik will help the running game like tremendously just by that threat to push the ball downfield. I think my one sort of, it's not caution, but I think while the schedule certainly is friendly, and I won't be surprised if there's 8, 9, 10 wins in there. Obviously, that is kind of what we try and go into the football season with, that kind of optimism. It is top heavy though. And about our 4 hardest games and I think the preseason RPI will reflect this, will be the first 4 games. So there is a chance.
Cal, Fresno State,
Texas Tech, Oregon.
Cal. I mean, preseason.
So
is Cal going to really be higher than Washington State?
Potentially.
Yeah, who knows what you're going to get with Washington State? They got hit hard by the.
That's why I think Cal today is.
I mean, Jaden
stronger.
Ott is also not a Golden Bear anymore.
True.
That was essentially what their entire.
Just funny that last year he posted
team
that
was built on.
I'm in the transfer portal, and then said, "Just kidding." And then this year he just actually joined or entered the transfer portal.
Yeah.
And yet, no, I'm not fucking scared of Cal, but like I think if you're looking like, all right, what are the 4 hardest games? And you're being honest, you're probably looking at all 12, and those first 4 are the strongest candidates. And who knows what?
And 3 out of the 4 are, wait, no, actually 2 are at home.
2 at home, 2 are on the road. Yeah. But I do think if you're 2-2 after that stretch, you're in a pretty good spot still to have, the season you want. Like some of our best seasons even started after a 2-2 stretch and had, a gauntlet facing it. So that's just kind of what I'll be thinking about early in the year.
At Wazoo does scare me.
Oh, absolutely.
No matter how bad they are.
At Wazoo, any time is going to be tough, and especially like last game of the season, their senior day.
I'm playing them the second time in the season, mere weeks later, 4 weeks later, where they'll have plenty of tape. They'll have
I kind of
prep for it.
First-hand experience.
I kind of love it. I kind of wish that we saw more regular season teams playing twice.
Yeah, home and home.
Home and home. Like it's, I don't know how you'd necessarily do it, but it's something that I find charming and enjoyable. Though I didn't say this in the earlier schedule portion of the podcast. The game, it's not an away day, Benny. Sorry, it's another game at Reeser, which is the greatest stadium in the world. But the game I'm probably most excited for is against Sam Houston State. Because I smoked pot with Sammy Houston.
I know nothing about Sam Houston's
I had to get that in there.
Football program.
They're pretty new to Division I.
When Rhett Bomar got kicked out of Oklahoma, he went to Sam Houston State. And I imagine I think they rebranded as Sam Houston. So it is just Sam Houston now.
They're the Bearcats with a K.
Okay.
Did you know that?
I did not know that.
I didn't know that. It's weird. I can't.
It's weird how many teams are called the Bearcats, but the Bearcat's not a real thing. It's like a Seahawk.
Is
it really not a real thing? Well, I guess with a K, it's not.
That's by Houston.
Their mascot's name is Sammy Bearcat, the rare non-alliterative mascot name. It'd be funny if it was Benny Bearcat. They are
Benny Bearcat,
and they're also orange. So if they're Benny Bearcat, that would be a little crazy.
It would be.
Bearcats are real.
Are they?
Yeah.
Is it a bear or a cat?
It's a binturong. It's a binturong.
Well, of course.
No, yeah. I of course know what a binturon is, but because Benny doesn't, why don't you explain what that is to Benny? Because I know what it is.
I know what it is.
Well,
I know what it is.
For the listener.
So the binturong, also the Arcticus binturong, also known as the bearcat, is a virid native to South and Southeast Asia. It is uncommon in much of its range, and it has been assessed as vulnerable because of its declining population. It kind of looks like a sloth meets a koala, meets a chow dog, meets a teddy bear.
Sounds ferocious.
They're
going to be extra vulnerable when they come to Reeser.
So if someone says, is a bearcat a cat or a bear? It is neither a bear nor a cat. It's a mongoose. It belongs to the mongoose family. Yeah.
The most notable alumni, according to me and this list, is Josh McCown, who played at
Willamette University is the Bearcats.
Yeah.
And so is
C.
I used to do basketball camps in the summer at Willamette University.
Oh, and you know what? Their mascot's name is Blitz, the Bearcat.
Way better.
Yeah.
Blitz the Bearcat.
Sammy.
What? Then Sammy the Bearcat?
Pod.
Willamette, pod, damn it.
Pod Willamette.
Belligerent Bearcats.
Well, Willamette, pod damn it.
Willamette, pod damn it. I think it's time
Or as
to go to
every
bed.
other state in the country would say, Willamette, pod damn
That's-
it.
yeah.
Doesn't work.
Did you guys know this? Sam Houston Normal Institute's athletics teams were originally nicknamed the Normals when the Texas legislature changed the name of Sam Houston Normal Institute to Sam Houston State Teachers College. The term normal became outdated.
Oh,
And so they settled on Bearcats with a K.
that's
That's
better.
fun. They should have kept
Quality.
the normals.
Normals is better.
That's so funny.
What does that
What kind of
even
school did you
mean?
go to? Oh, that's
Alright.
normal.
Right.
Yeah.
We need to come up with some
Houston
great
normals.
great signs to bring to that game based on the Normals name.
You're so normal.
No.
All right, should we wrap it up, guys?
Yeah, it's time to go to bed, right?
They also had a Samantha Bearcat. Just got to say, that's cool.
That is cool.
God,
Yeah.
they're like a shadow campus of us.
Yeah.
Good Lord. Anyway, that will be in our next investigative episode. Like the time we
Where
brought
is
back
Samantha
Bernice.
Bearcat?
Where is Samantha
Yeah.
Bearcat?
We did bring back Bernice.
We
Let's just
did. We found
put
her.
credit where
We
credit's due.
saved
You're welcome.
her. We revived her. Got her out of that prison and into the bright outdoors where she belongs. And
What a beautiful prison, though. The MU at Oregon
it was
State University.
the basement
Lock
of
me
Gil.
up there
It
anytime
It was
you
the
want.
basement of Gil, wasn't it? That's less beautiful.
Just feed me Gill dogs and Gill beers through like a tube. I don't
I
care.
haven't been
It's
in the
just
basement
haunted
of
by
Gil.
slats.
I have a pretty good idea what the basement of Gil looks like. And
Just a vacuum tube that just sends down the Gill dogs.
Well,
I'm
that-
fine.
But you'll need a vacuum to get the gill dogs out if you choke on them.
yeah.
I'll hit the reverse button and go right back to the tube.
God
If I
damn it.
die choking on
God
a Gill dog
damn
in
it.
the basement of Gill while a prisoner of Gill, that's a good life.
I had a cool job that I loved. Anyway, this is
I'll look over and it'll be J. John and he'll be like,
This-
you too.
all right. The first time it's like saying Bloody Mary's name 3 times in a mirror. When you mention J. John on an episode, it means the episode